Wes, very good to see you. An important topic today: how to recover financially from a divorce. The older you are when you divorce, the less time you have to recover financially. So, the divorce rate among people 50 plus actually doubled between 1990 and 2010. So, let's start with your suggested action plan. First, you need to assess your new financial situation. That means making a summary of your assets and debts and reviewing income and expenses. Why is that the first step?
Well, it's a very important first step because you want to get organized and you want to understand what you have as far as assets, where you're saving, and then, of course, what your liabilities are and factor in your current cash flow or your income and your expenses. So, getting that all together, and this is a big first step because a lot of people may have a spouse or did have a spouse that's what they handled, and their conversations weren't always open, and that could be one reason, right, where we find why we find ourselves in this position. And it's unfortunate, Aaron, but those ages 50 and older, it's about 25%, which is a fairly high number of folks that are separating these days.
Right, great divorce. Next, this one is really important. Revise your estate plan and beneficiaries.
Your beneficiaries are certainly going to change if you're like most people. So, taking a look at who you have listed as a beneficiary for your IRAs, your 401ks, but even the bigger picture, updating your will. Are your healthcare directives up to date? That's likely going to change. And if you had say, a trust that was in place prior, well, if it was a revocable trust, then that's obviously going to change a whole lot because you and your spouse are no longer together. So taking a look at that to make sure, God forbid, if something happened to you, your assets are passed on to those that you wish. And those that don't have a beneficiary designation, hopefully that's avoiding probate through proper estate planning.
Mhm. Next, check your Social Security benefits because you may be eligible for benefits based on your spouse's work record.
That's right. And there's a few caveats that you'll see here. One of those being that you have to have been married for at least 10 years, and that divorce was finalized at least 2 years ago. And you also need to be at least age 62. And so you could have the opportunity to collect a third to one half of what your ex spouse is claiming. And Aaron, kind of interesting is that you could be, if you've got multiple exes, as long as you're married for at least 10 years to each, then you could be eligible to collect on multiple ex spouse's benefits.
So important to know what you're entitled to, though. Good point. Next, you suggest using the catch up rules for retirement savings.
Yes, this is the time to put the pedal to the metal, as they say, right? So if you're over age 50, then you can contribute additional contributions to your retirement plan, such as a 401k. You can add over $7,000 more, and things like a Roth IRA and traditional IRA, if you're eligible, there's $1,000 catch up contribution opportunity there as well.
Mhm. And then last, you suggest setting new financial goals. Your retirement was probably based on joint goals. And so now you get to rethink what's important to you. And that's where working with an advisor can be really helpful.
Absolutely. This is a completely new phase of life for most people. And so your outlook is going to change, your goals are going to change, what you want out of life. There's really it's just you now until that changes again, if it does. And so sitting down with an advisor, kind of having that conversation, what do you want out of life from here on out, and putting a purpose behind all those savings that we just talked about, as far as your contributions and your income streams, things that you want to accomplish through life. Just make sure that you have a plan for that,
Mhm.
and check in at least on an annual basis to make sure that you're hitting those touch points.
Right. A plan and an advocate. Wes, if somebody is going through a divorce and they'd like your help with these topics, how can they reach you?
They can give us a call at 919-322-4113, or send us an email to info@patriotwealthnc.com.
Great. Wes, thank you.
Thank you.